Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another one of my Gay Gamer video podcasts. Obviously this week, we are going to be talking about Spider-Man for the PS4. But first, I'm doing my Julie Chen, but first, quick movie update. I continue to use AMC A-List. As I said last episode, I had signed up for it, and I had already used it once to see a 3D showing of Alpha, which was a $21 ticket, so I had already made my $20, so everything else I saw this month was gravy. Although, I used to do that with MoviePass, where I would say, I paid $10, this is the movie this month that I want to see Infinity War, so Infinity War is the one I paid $10 to see, and then everything else I saw for the next month was gravy. Whereas here, I wouldn't necessarily have even gone to see Alpha in the theater, and I certainly wouldn't have gone to see it in 3D. Like, I'm not sure I would have used MoviePass on that. Hello, sirens, rude, filming. I don't think I would have used MoviePass on that. I might have if I had free time, but it wasn't really high up. But to be able to see it in 3D was kind of awesome, so I went ahead and did it. So I don't feel like I'm going to be like, oh, well, I spent $20 on that, because I wouldn't really have spent $20 on that, and then had everything else been free. So I feel like I'm going to be like a little more like, I've seen 3 movies so far, 2 3D, 1 2D, which was $16, so it's like what, like $57 or $58 worth of movie tickets that I've paid $20 for, so I'm like, it's fine. So far, I've seen 3 movies this month, which is like 6 and change a piece. That's fine. But I was concerned about the indie movies. I mentioned this last week, that I was thinking of keeping MoviePass to see indie movies. The problem is that MoviePass has gotten so limiting that there's never anything available that I want to see when I want to see it. So, no thank you. But I was surprised to find that The Little Stranger was actually playing at AMC theaters. I went to the 34th Street one to see that, and it was quite good. Totally misunderstood the ending, by the way. It was like 100 degrees out, so it was nice to watch like this cold, chilly, British, gothic ghost story, you know, and it was wonderful. Great performances. It's a very slow burn. It is not the ghost story that it's not the ghost story that the trailers make it out to be, because it's mostly just drama with a little bit of, it's gothic drama with a little bit of spooky stuff here and there, scattered. I totally misunderstood the ending, but I read an interview with the director where he explained the ending, and I went, oh, that's what it was? That makes the whole movie so much better, because I thought the ending was giving it a mundane explanation, but it gave it a ghostly explanation, which was way better. So, spoiler alert, sort of. But that was kind of an indie limited release movie that I wasn't sure that A-List was going to carry, but it was at AMC theaters, so maybe AMC won't be so bad. I mean, they have a lot of theaters all through Manhattan, so with a lot of screens on each one, so but the problem is that I need to see movies in 3D on opening weekend now, because that's when I think I'll be able to see them at the bigger theaters, because I decided this past weekend that I wanted to see The Meg in 3D. Because it looked stupid, but I thought in 3D it might be kind of fun. And it turns out the 3D was really fun. It was visually very dimensional. It was very good. It's a great pop. There's a great pop-out that I literally flinched at, which I don't usually do with modern 3D movies, because they don't really do that kind of thing anymore. But the script was just painfully dumb. Painfully. I don't know how the actors got their lines out with a straight face sometimes, because they were just that bad. But Jason Statham in a towel in 3 dimensions. But again, I had to go to the Kips Bay Theater, and that's a pain in the ass to get to, especially on weekend subway with the MTA shutting down and rerouting subways left and right. So luckily, I've discovered that AMC theaters offer 25 to 30 minutes of trailers before every film, so you can be 20 minutes late. I was 15 minutes late for The Meg, and it was still just the trailers. But I have a reserved seat, and the aisles are so wide because they're the reclining chairs, so you can just walk right up, and you don't have to like push past people and be annoying. You can just sort of duck your head and go doot 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 and sit in your seat, and then there you go. And then I still got to see like 5 more trailers before the movie even started. So I am digging the A-list. I recommend it. If you have AMC theaters, it's especially good for me in New York City because there's multiple AMC theaters that are showing multiple movies at multiple times, so I can find what I want to see mostly when I want to see it. If you're in a smaller town where you've got one AMC theater, it'll be a little less helpful, but still, it's great. Also, I get to see things in 3D, which is super awesome. I'm going to see things in 3D that I wouldn't even normally go see. Like, I see myself going to see, like, that Littlefoot cartoon, which looks terrible and stupid, but I'm like, I can go see that in 3D. I don't know. I'm crazy. I have a problem. I do. As for gaming, I did buy Spider-Man, obviously. I'm so excited. But first, again, I still have been playing No Man's Sky, and if you might recall last week, I mentioned I had a problem where I did the community event and the portal shunted me back to the wrong planet in the wrong galaxy in the wrong system, and I didn't know where I was, and I couldn't find the portal back, and it was all completely screwed up, and I was like, what am I supposed to do now? This is a disaster. And I wasn't sure that if they did a bug fix, that it would restore my game and put me back in the right system. So I basically sacrificed, I think, a good 20 hours of gameplay from the past week or so, and restored my save from a USB stick, because before the last update people were saying it was getting borked, and so I saved mine just in case, but my save was fine. So I had the save from a couple of weeks ago, so I restored that save, and then I went and did the community event quickly, went back, ended up back in the system I left, so I was like, okay, we're good. So I am continuing my game from that point, because I wanted to be in my own galaxy with my own space, with my base and everything. So I will continue on, and I just lost all the progress that I had made and the upgrades I'd done to my ship and my suit and everything, but it's fine. I'll do them again. It doesn't matter. It was more important for me to be back in my own galaxy again. And then they started a second community event, which I think is very smart of Hello Games, because now that it's September, you have a lot of big releases coming out, especially for the PS4, even the PS4 exclusives. You've got Dragon Quest XI and Spider-Man, but then also next week, Tomb Raider is coming out. This is another big release, and I think it's very smart of Hello Games to have these community events while these big releases are coming up, because it makes you say, oh, let me see what the new items that I can get are. Okay, I'm going to participate in this event and I'm going to get these items. Then I'll go back and play some more Spider-Man. Because that's exactly what I did. I played a ton of Spider-Man on Friday when it came out, and then on Saturday, I went to the movies, and then I decided I actually wasn't in the mood for Spider-Man. I needed to relax. I was a little stressed, so I wanted to relax. So I put on No Man's Sky and participated in the community event, because I wanted to, relax and play something chill, which is No Man's Sky. So it's nice to have that as a backup if you're not in the mood to stress out and go, ah! But also the community events, now that they don't put you in the wrong galaxy, are nice. This one, unfortunately, has you collecting alien poop. Well, I guess technically you don't have to collect the poop. Polo wants you to feed creatures on planets, so the more creatures you feed, the more Quicksilver you can earn to buy rare items. But they poop after you feed them, so you pick that up, and now it's called Hexite, and it's actually worth quite a lot of units, so I'm collecting all the poop I can. But obviously, the big news this week that I am finally now getting to is Spider-Man, which was awesome. Although I was a little disappointed in Best Buy. I wanted to pre-order the game so that I could get the pre-order bonus of the costumes, and I think you get an item and some other upgrade and a Spider-Man theme for your PlayStation, and I thought, I'm going to get it anyway, I'll just pre-order it a couple days earlier, and I tried to pre-order it, and the website said, no, I'm sorry, you can't pre-order this because your credit card is expiring soon. And I'm like, well, yeah, my credit card expires at the end of October, and the game comes out on Friday. So I don't really see the problem, but there was no reasoning with the website because it just wouldn't let me do it. So Friday morning, I placed an order for pickup, and I asked the cashier, I was like, is there anything you can do? And she's like, yeah, no, that was a pre-order thing, and it's the day of now, so there's nothing I can do. And then I tried calling customer service, but there was like a 20-minute wait time, so I went with the chat, because there's no email. You can't email Best Buy, because I'm like, I just want to email you, and you can just email me back in your convenience. It doesn't matter, there's no rush. So I left the chat window open for like 20-25 minutes, and finally someone came on, and she was not really very helpful. She forwarded it on to their digital team. I don't expect to get an email with a digital code, but I would like to email Best Buy and be like, hey dude, fix your website so that like it understands dates, so that I can still use my credit card for something that's coming out in 2 days when my credit card doesn't expire for almost 2 months. So I don't have my pre-order bonuses, I don't have the extra costumes, but it's fine because it was like the Spider-Punk, and I'm sure the other two were not that good. Because all I really want is the classic costume. And to my delight, when you begin playing Spider-Man, you are wearing the classic costume. It's lovely. It's all I want. Like, there's so many costumes in this game, and I just don't care about them. I just want the classic one. There is a, spoiler alert, there is a story reason why you wear the white spider costume that you see in all of the advertisements that they've done, but after I used it for that mission, it then explains, like, hey, you have all these suits and you can upgrade them and do this stuff and whatever, and I'm like, okay, great. And I switched back to the classic costume. I had to unlock it. I had to do some side stuff in order to get the tokens to be able to purchase and unlock the classic costume. But I actually like, each costume has its own special ability, and then there's like 3 upgrade slots, which you can add your own little whatever you think will help your game. In my case, I very much want to put in the less melee damage and less firearm damage. Those are the ones. Very important to add. Whatever costume I'm wearing, those have to be there, because I'm not so good with the combat. Not yet. But I actually like the power of the classic costume better than the white spider costume, because it's great, because you're fighting a gang of enemies, and it basically makes you like jump up and then like just web everything in sight. And you can pretty much web most of the enemies in a small group and take them all out like almost instantly, and there will be like 1 or 2 that like break free, and then you can just take them down, because combat is a little sketchy. I'm still playing it on normal. I haven't given up and put it on easy yet, because I haven't reached a point where a mission or a battle has been so incredibly difficult that I've had to redo it like 5 or 6 times. I might get close to death, or I might even die a couple of times, but it hasn't been so bad that I've tried to drop it down to easy, because the combat, it's extremely similar to the Arkham games. If you've played the Arkham games, it's basically the same kind of thing. But it makes more sense for Spider-Man to be bouncing around like a crazy person, punching enemies and jumping around and boop, 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 boop. But you're also unlocking special abilities for fighting, that, like special moves, that take special button combos that I don't remember what those buttons do, and I'm always forgetting that I even have these special moves, and I keep using the same 2 over and over again, because whatever. But it's funny, because, like, you fight a man... guns are the worst. And I'm like, and I'm always forgetting to dodge, and I keep getting shot at, and it's really painful. But it's the guys with the crowbars that are killing me, because if an enemy has a weapon, you can't fight them. He will literally stand there with a crowbar, and you just keep hitting that crowbar, and it does nothing to him. And it's like, and I'm like, and then you have to like bounce back and then shoot him with your webs, and then you can fight him, because magical crowbars are just super strong. And I was concerned about the combat, but I've discovered that what's even going to be more of a problem for me is chase sequences. Because there was a mission that I did a bunch of side stuff, and then when I finally got to the mission, because I was concerned, it's like a supervillain that I was going to have to go and confront, and I'm like, I'm going to take my time getting to him because I need to get better at combat, because I'm going to have to fight him, and there's probably going to be tons of goons that I'm going to have to take out, and it's going to be obnoxious. But it turned out it wasn't a combat mission, it was a chase mission, and I had to chase him through the city. And, oh my god, no. Like, web swinging is super fun, but in a chase, they'll turn a corner, and then you've got to, like, quick turn a corner, and if you're not quite quick enough, like I am, a lot of the times, you'll run into a building. But you don't go splat, you know, you start running along it. And then you run up it, and then you'll drop down, and then you're like trying to get the webs to go again and swing, but you'll land on the ground, and then you might as well just give up and start over, because you're not going to catch up to them again. Although sometimes they run around in a circle a couple of times so that you can cut them off. But it's like, I keep hitting the buildings and then sticking to them and running up them, and I'm like, no, I need to swing in that direction, stop running up that building that way. It's like, I'm just not coordinated that way. I'm really not. Like, I would be a terrible superhero. But it's super fun. There's a ton of side stuff to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to 100% this game, because while there's a lot of collectibles to get, that'll be no problem. I can go and look at the icons on the map, and I can go there and I can collect the backpack, or I can take a picture of the monument, or whatever it is that I've got to do. It's fine. But I think that there are, like, races or timed events where it's like, get from Empire State Building to World Trade Center in this X amount of time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, because they're going to get harder and harder as you go on, and, like, chase this villain, or chase this car, and chase him around Central Park, or whatever, and it's like, I'm not that coordinated with the web swinging that I don't know. Maybe by the end of the game, my skills will be better, and I'll be able to pull them off. I don't know. That's when I'm going to be doing the villain hideouts, because there's a bunch of villain hideouts all around. Kingpin's villains are all over the place, and there are just waves of enemies that just keep coming and coming and coming and getting harder and harder. And you have to defeat all of the waves of enemies in order to, you know, claim the base for good, I guess. And they're like crazy hard, and I'm not that great with the combat, and I stumbled into one and I was just like, no, we're leaving, I'm going to go do something else right now. Because I'm thinking maybe like later in the game, when I've got more health and my suit is really, really strong, then I can go back and maybe be a little bit better at defeating them. Maybe I'll have some better gadgets or powers or whatever. Because there's a lot to do in this game, and I keep trying to do the side stuff whenever I can, because I don't want to keep doing the story missions, because I don't want it to be over. Although I'm sure there's way more than what I've done. Like, I'm sure I'm barely like a quarter of the way through the game, at least I hope. I have been playing it a lot this weekend, but then I have to go back to work, so I won't be able to play it as much, so that'll slow me down some. But it's great. It's visually stunning. Like, New York just looks fantastic. It's not entirely accurate. Like, Washington Square Park looked great from above, but, you know, when I got down into the park, I'm like, there's a hot dog vendor, and where should be more grass here, and why is there a metal railing for a fence? It's stone, whatever. So it's not 100% accurate, but oh my god, it looks so good when you're swinging around and hanging off buildings and stuff. Photo mode is fantastic. You can add like little graphics and frames, and it's so much fun. And the only problem, there's a ton of filters. There's a selfie angle that you can do, which is like super fun. I like to take selfies with the villains after I web them up. But you can't adjust the lighting. And I really hope that maybe they'll do an update that allows you to adjust the lighting, because I had a lot of fun taking pictures in the beginning, because it was like daytime, and then it was like sunset, and it was like the sun setting over Jersey, and it was golden hour, and everything looked gorgeous. But then after I did another mission, it was nighttime and it was raining, and then every time I take a picture it's nighttime and raining, and it's like, I would like to have better lighting, please. So, I don't know if they'll do that, but it's still a really good photo mode. There's a lot of options, and there's also like a section with like emotes and stuff, which I can't seem to do yet, and I'm not sure how to unlock those. I'm assuming at some point you unlock them. Maybe you have to complete the game, and then you can run around and play photo mode all the time. But it's great. If you have a PS4 and you like Spider-Man and you like superhero adventure, it's a great game. I mean, I was pretty sure it was going to be awesome because they're the ones that did Infamous, right? Because that's like one of my favorite superhero games. I had high hopes for this one, and I was not disappointed. It is so far quite good. My only real complaint, other than the combat and my inability to web swing well, that's on me. As far as the game, my only real complaint about the game is I wish Peter Parker was cuter. But that's just me. I just don't think he's that cute. Apologize if he's modeled after a real person. But super great game, and I'll have more to say after I've played more of it next week. And I think there might even be another No Man's Sky community event next week. So we'll see what they'll make me do next time. Hopefully no more poop. Talk to you then. Bye!